because all they'll do is ignore me or whatever. And
Ignore
by the
you.
way,
That
when
is
I say
not what
they,
that
I'm
is.
talking mostly about Marysol, because Alexia, we're not best friends. But we've never really had. There's never been anything super ugly, which is why regardless of what I know, I would not come after her gratuitously to make her look like she's destitute. And I mean, it's just, why would I do that?
Mm.
So you're not mad at Adriana at all, like as Beba says, for being a pawn in her scheme.
Because you were. That's what she
I know, I
did.
know, I know. Um, yeah, I didn't like it, but I don't think Adriana's a bad person. I really think that she's just a survivor, and she's whatever. And I honestly, by the way, we did have conversations one time when something came out of, or Alexia has to move out, and she's like, oh, why do you think that is? And I said, well, they rent. And she goes, no, they own it. And it's like, no, they rent. And so we had a conversation about that, at some point, and she's like, you should see what she's doing. She's bringing like all these watches and all this stuff to see if to show off that Todd is giving, like, Adriana, stay in your lane, focus on your stuff. You don't know, first of all, who cares? But maybe we used to borrow jewelry all the time for the show. In fact, Marysol used to arrange it. Maybe the stuff is borrowed. Maybe it's, who cares? Like, it just,
Literally, who cares?
that was what she wanted to talk about. But no, she knows very well that I'm not capable of walking in there and saying, here's a pie chart of only 18% of Todd's wealth comes from, rental units or whatever. I mean, no, like,
Also,
that was never it.
what's wrong with renting, asking for a friend? What's wrong with renting?
I've been saying, I mean,
there's nothing wrong with renting. The issue is
in this economy.
No, right, but when you're spending $40,000 or $50,000 a month on rent, which is what.
Oh no, that's crazy.
Then you're throwing away a lot of money, and then what he's doing, he's going on his social media and talking about why I rent versus this and that. And while, look, there's a famous guy in Miami named Grant Cardone who was a billionaire, multi-billionaire, and he believes in self, because that's his business, right? But he owns stuff. And what Todd is saying, he goes, just with condos, it's better to rent. With homes, it's better to own. So then go buy a house. You know what I mean? The fact that he had 15 days to move, there's something weird about that. You know what I mean? Your landlord would give you more, that he didn't have a lease. They were living month to month. Like, who knows? There is something there that doesn't make sense. Have you ever been kicked out of an apartment in 15 days?
Were they paying in cash? I don't know.
Right, exactly. And so again, I don't know a single person without a skeleton, and whatever, this guy's skeletons are, yes, I could find everything out, but you guys want to find out, go on Glassdoor. That's a great place to find out about employers and what they do. Or you want to find out, miamidade.gov, which apartment they sold, how much they sold it for. Like, these things are easy, so.
Were you, I mean, because there was this scene, like when you walked in and, of course it's edited a certain way where, where you were being nice to Lisa, and Lisa was like, wait, what? She's being nice to me. And Lisa referred to, which was kind of funny. Yes, you're smiling. And Lisa was like, she seems really nervous.
Yeah.
I'd be nervous. Like, were you nervous going in knowing that you were seeing
No.
Marysol?
I mean, I wasn't nervous. I do. It's so funny because Beba and I talked about it on our podcast, Mommy Issues, which we need to promote.
Go right ahead.
Yeah. You're airing this on Monday. So last week's episode, we talked about how Beba found that scene.
It was so cringy. It was so
right?
cringy.
And I'm like,
because it was awkward. And I told her, I'm like, you looked nervous because you were awkward. And I think her intent was to be like, right off the bat, I want to be like, whatever happened before, I am rooting for you. Like, I think her intention, I know your intention was good, but it came off so weird.
It came off, and I like, told her, no, it's not cringy. And now I look at it and I go, it's so cringy.
It's cringy.
It was so cringy. And I really wasn't nervous, but it was cringy. The conversation was much longer than that. And the way that the whole scene ended was with Lisa walking me to the car and staying with me till, I mean, yeah, she was very nice. But again,
You can even tell in her testimonial when she's like, I'm here for it. Or it's like, I'm not here for it, but I'm here for it. It's like, you
well,
can
I
tell
think
that
she
she's
tends to
like,
be really honest for the most part, as opposed to, Marysol that like she can't speak the truth ever. I think Lisa is just, what's wrong with that? I don't, I put I put a reminder on my phone to check on you. I mean, that
That's
tells you that
crazy.
she doesn't have an agenda or is not playing a game. It's like face value. You tell me that I should check in on you, so I'm going to put an alarm on my phone. Again, it's just
because this podcast was so heavily featured on RHOM, we don't need to rehash every little thing that was said. We've been there and done that. But do you feel bad for this whole thing they showed about, like, you don't take out, you eat in, this whole thing
Yeah.
that was said in
Yeah.
regard to Lisa?
it.
was-
It was ugly. Listen,
bad.
guys, I say ugly things sometimes. This is why people run from the room. My mother's big joke, and it's not a joke. She says, the day I bite my tongue, I'm going to poison myself. And in Spanish, it's very dramatic. El día que te muerdas la lengua, te vas a envenenar. Like,
Whoa.
you're going to die of like whatever because I spew venom. You know?
It's why I've been
When
in
I
therapy
need
for so long.
When I need, not to you. Don't
Okay.
be okay. Tune into Mommy Issues.
I was just
where
gonna
we
say,
deal with
tune
all
into
our
Mommy
mommy
Issues.
issues. Listen, I'm not a perfect
I'm gonna
anything.
steal this from your mother, though. I actually like that saying. Go on.
Yeah. So look, for me, I'll tell you the hardest part. I totally regret saying that about Lisa. When we talked about it, the whole divorce thing wasn't happening. Like, he hadn't left her for another woman. And I think I was saying it in the context of what his family sees her like. But that's not an excuse because I was agreeing with them. And so I don't mean that, these relationships with these women who I had a relationship with before, then spent a lot of time away. It's like this. It's what did they hear last that I said depends on whether they hate me or they like me. So I don't know where we are.
Yeah.
Regardless of where we are, I totally regret that. And the scene was very cringy.
And
It wasn't that cringy. It was cringe, but it wasn't like, oh my God.
do you think,
And
like,
Beba's like, you stuck out like such a sore thumb.
Because you did in a good way.
I just know I thought that was like, and I thought it was, of course it's editing, but should we all be afraid of you, Anna? I mean, Larsa asked this question. Should she run out and
Am I violent?
right?
Are you violent?
That is what Larsa asked.
Okay, so here's the thing. I think I've known them longer than the other people. I know Alexia longer than the others. I'm a person that pays attention. I am a person that people come to seeking advice sometimes because I'm a lawyer, because I'm whatever. And so